Okay, here. Can you hear me now, people? I'm here. It's time that we start thinking about what the hell our job is as the media. Okay? I have the pensive music on. It's not the regular hip hop. I got the pensive music on because I want us to be thinking. It's not the hip hop jovial moment that we're used to, although it should be after Biden's performance. But it's time that we sit down and think seriously about what the hell is our job as the media. What the hell is our job as the media? Huh? For 50 minutes, Joe Biden interwove foreign and domestic policy, his own post-debate mistakes, the history of the relations between South Korea and Japan, his own calculations and miscalculations about retaining the presidency, Israel. Okay, he expressed the openness to changing both the approach and maybe even the candidates of the Democratic Party. Instead, our failure of a media, the bane of the U.S. democracy and the pimple on the backside of our country, only heard a silly gaffe that took 2 seconds and had no reporting on the other 49 minutes and 58 seconds of actual important and necessary news. All of that other 49 minutes was something that could only be handled by a president who was smarter than a fifth grader and obviously mentally fit, unlike the orange monkey that the media would rather watch dance around because it makes their job easier. They don't have to explain anything.
I have monkey.
And we're getting a beautiful visual representation of that right now by my illustrious and illuminated co-host. People. I guess the point is, our media, instead of reporting facts on history, complex issues, a war in Israel, a plan for a ceasefire, okay? Instead of reporting on the things that are actually matter in a speech, they found two gaffes and reported on it. Because you know what? Who needs facts? Who needs the understanding of complex issues? Who needs well thought out plans that take into account history, world politics, diverse insights, when you can have a monkey? Right? That's where we are. So, to help me break this down, I've got my illustrious, illuminated, intelligent co-host, Laura Malcolm. How you doing, my dear?
DGIF, did me and my monkey come in a little too soon?
No. It was good. It was a great visual of the actual monkey business I was talking about. If I can show you something, YouTube, I want you to take a look at this. The man needs help. Joe Biden fails NATO press conference. That's the headline. Here's another one, YouTube. President Biden responds to being asked about mixing up names for President Putin and Zelensky. That's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one from the Times, the New York Times, the Sunday Times. Biden makes string of gaffes in crucial press conference. That's what the media is saying. And we're going to go a little bit, the point is, people, would you like to have an idea of what was actually said? You see, while they were hoping for their monkey, Laura, while they were looking for the monkey business, something to get clicks, there was actual news that was being made. He answered every question. He went through actual history and the weaving of politics. And the only thing we could find upon trying to get a decent headline of what happened for 50 minutes is this horse shit. Biden makes string of gaffes. A string of gaffes? Really? A string of gaffes? Or was it that reporting on things like Zelensky and Kyiv not being taken over yet, or reporting on things like the nature of the conflict in Israel
that I shouldn't
wasn't easy enough?
But there's no indication of that yet. None. Realization of Finland.
Right,
And about 4 weeks later, I got a call. No, that's not true.
Successful NATO gathering.
Probably 5 months later.
75th anniversary, big deal.
The most successful.
Apparently.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Would you guys out there in Team Drain Land, those of you out there who turned on to this live show, I'm sorry you couldn't hear what he was saying. I wish that wasn't the case. I don't know how. It's the same thing we do every time, and it always works, but it's just not working today. But would you like to see what actual people have to say? Let's see. Let's see what actual people have to say after watching that. Not the media who are looking for clicks, but actual people.
Hey, Kevin. Welcome.
And I'll try to turn it up some more. Hey, Kevin. All right. So you guys saw what the media said about it.
If you're 55 or over, did you know you could leave your loved ones with an inheritance of up to $300,000?
Actual people who watched it.
Welcome to day 14 of the most successful Russian propaganda campaign in U.S. history. More successful than Hillary's emails, more successful than the Obama birth.
Because, of course, I'll get it from here. Okay. Am I smarter than a fifth grader? That's what we're wondering right now. Here we go. Good. Here we go. This is what actual people said. Since
President Biden just finished his highly anticipated press conference to close out the NATO summit, there was a lot of pressure on President Biden to deliver a performance much different than what we saw at the debate just a couple of weeks ago. And boy, did Biden show up. And you don't have to take my word for it. CNN got together a group of voters to watch the press conference and then interviewed them afterwards.
Now we can hear that one better.
And what they said shocked the host. I can't wait to show you guys these clips. I'm going to show you a couple of clips from the presser as well, and let's jump right into it. Of course, there were going to be a lot of questions about President Biden's health during the press conference. Everybody was shocked at what we saw.
Presidency is the most straining job in the world, and it's 24/7. How can you say you'll be up for that next year, in 2 years, in 4 years, given the limits you've acknowledged that you have today?
The limits I've acknowledged I have?
There's been reporting that you've acknowledged that you need to go to bed earlier and your evening around 8.
Our disgrace of the United States media just asked this man about the limits that he had because he said he'd rather wake up early and go to bed early rather than go to bed late. How can you perform the presidency while going to bed early, Joe Biden? I wonder. This is amazing. It's unbelievable that you want to go to. You have so many limits. His facial expression was the exact correct one. What the F are you talking about?
Bye, Felicia. That's her actual name.
My God.
That's not true.
Didn't Trump sleep till 11 or something and rush his way over there and fart for a few hours and then maybe ordered lunch and then maybe have a meeting?
No. Here's a question. Didn't Trump bury his wife in the golf course for a tax break? What are you talking about? Press? Media? What are you talking about? Didn't Trump bury his wife on his own golf course and let the grass grow over her headstone so you can't read it for a tax break? What are you worried about? This guy going to bed early. He just told you about all the foreign pieces that you needed to know. You don't have a question about those?
Look, what I said was, instead of my every day starting at 7 and going to bed at midnight, it'd be smarter for me to pace myself a little more. And I said, for example, the 8, 7, 6 stuff, instead of starting a fundraiser at 9 o'clock, start at 8 o'clock. People get to go home by 10 o'clock. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, and if you looked at my schedule since I made that stupid mistake in the campaign, in the debate, I mean, my schedule has been full bore. I've done, where's Trump been? Riding around in his golf cart, filling out his scorecard before he hits the ball? I mean, look, he's done virtually nothing.
What?
Can we get that monkey? Where's the monkey? Monkey! That's too much.
Monkey wants to renew his contract.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. This is too much news. I'm having to work too hard. Having to work too hard. I need the monkey because funny enough, we don't get paid like any of those people at the presser. But you know what was sent to me before we even saw anything about this press conference by my illuminated, illustrious, and intelligent co-host? It was Joe Biden's schedule, the public schedule. 10 a.m., daily brief. 12, pool call time. 1 p.m., out-of-town pool call time. 1:55, departs the White House. Arrives, departs again, participates in this campaign, goes to the Wayne, Michigan route for whatever that's about, arrives in Delaware, leaves Delaware, goes to Rehoboth Beach. Where is it? What are we doing? Goes to this other daily brief. Goes to the Washington Convention Center. Then the NATO summit. And then another meeting with Zelensky. Oh, and then the second part of the NATO summit. Then the Ukraine Compact thing. And then another conference. And another daily briefs. And the AFL-CIO. And then this whole thing. Oh, we got to do this photo, this convention center, back to the White House. Oh, we got another call with another prime minister. That's the United Kingdom. Oh, then we go here, then we go there, then we go here. It's not 12 p.m. yet.
Damn, I couldn't do even a quarter of that. I'm 63.
The F are you talking about? You pimple on the ass of our country called the media. You are gross. You disgust me. You disgust us. You failed. You're a failure. You're a failure at your job. You're the only job mentioned in the Constitution, and you've disgraced it. You've pissed on it. You shit on it. And rub it into the ground every day. You suck. You stink. You're feces. You're gross. You're ugly. You're unacceptable. That's your question. That's your question to the leader of the free world. Okay. Okay.
No, I've been screaming and raging at my screen ever since this all started too. This, let's kick him for any reason to get him down. You know? What the hell? Like, why does everybody got to ride on that bullshit train when they got no plan? All they're worried about is donors.
Well, I'll tell you what, people.
Donors and he's old.
Donors, and you know what? We'll get to that. The whole donors thing is really pissing me off. On the Democratic side, too. Every commercial I've seen is just asking for money. Meanwhile, Trump is actually putting out lies, but actual campaign videos. When are you going to use the money? I haven't seen a campaign video that wasn't made by the Lincoln Project that was worth its salt, except for that one about the lies about the soldiers. But anyway, we're not there yet. People, would you like to know what actual human beings like yourself and myself thought? Let's check it out. Because the media that's lying and failing and tossing our country into the garbage can and burning it on fire and watching the smoke go up and inhaling it for sustenance is a farce. The people who decide elections are the people who always decide elections. Me and you.
Now, he even asked him about alternative candidates. Watch this.
He's a strong guy.
What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that. I think what came across was that of what he is. Joe Biden is very caring about people. He's very knowledgeable and experienced, and he's not just out for himself, that he really cares about the country.
And there's no chance that you would be more confident with the Kamala Harris or your governor here, Whitmer, here in the state of Michigan.
Right. Yeah. I think Joe Biden did an excellent job.
Yeah.
During this news conference.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden.
During this news conference. No! Yesterday! During this news conference? Listen to the people. I'm sorry. Listen
about people. He's very knowledgeable.
Watch this.
You would be more confident with the Kamala Harris or your governor here, Whitmer, here in the state of Michigan.
Right. Yeah. I think Joe Biden did an excellent job.
During this news conference.
Mm-hmm.
No! During his visit to the pool. During dinner, dumbass. What do you mean during this news conference? Isn't that what they're there for? Is that surprising to you? Because you thought they would care more about the stupid 2-second gaffe like you did? That's why you're surprised, media. You thought that the rest of us were as stupid and fucked up as you are. We're not. We listened to the conference. We weren't looking for a gaffe. Most of those people don't have YouTube pages. They don't need clicks. They want to know who can be president. You want to know who's the best monkey to follow. Thank you, Laura. I see you going for it. This is the key. Please bang the monkey.
Suck the monkey. Suck the monkey.
Let's see what else American people have to say, Laura.
Press conference.
The two of you weren't decided. My question for you, you weren't decided before this happened if you should stay in the race. How do you feel now after watching this news conference?
Relieved, and I think he should stay in.
Now, you may not have heard that, Laura, because I know you're growing on a delay. The question,
a little bit.
The question was simply, you two people were undecided about whether or not he should stay. What do you feel after this conference? You know what she said? Relieved. I feel relieved. Now I know for sure he should stay in. Do you want to know? Do you want to know what your pig, gross, disgusting, animal, selfish, fake, failure, pimple, pus media said? This is what they said. The man needs help. Joe Biden fails NATO press conference. Huh? Huh? They hate you. They despise you. They despise you. They hate you. You are commodity. You're to be fleeced. You're to be squeezed for all you have. Your money, your pride if necessary. They hate you. They're not here to inform you. They all hate their jobs. None of them wanted to be news anchors. All of them wanted to be highfalutin lawyers or actors and failed. And were picked up by these monkey trainers. Last thing.
So your opinion has changed from not sure to he should stay in?
Yes.
Okay. And how about you? How do you feel? You weren't sure. How do you feel now?
Same. I think he's the logical choice.
I am so glad these ladies had a chance to tune into the press conference and see a different side of Joe Biden from what...
Okay. All right, people. So there you have it. There you have it. That was number one. We got a lot of things to go through today, but that's number one. One. I
saw a lot of real-time, real-person responses to a lot of that bullshit media.
Yeah.
In the chat rooms and in the comment sections, people were not impressed with the...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome to hear.
So how dare they attack my Joe? Just, people were saying, I gotta walk away from this because I'm ready to explode.
Yeah, that's why, you know what? It's probably a good thing I waited until tonight to actually, I skimmed everything, but I wanted to make sure that I gave the true response tonight. You guys are getting it. They hate you. They hate us. We're a commodity. That's it. And I'm glad to hear that, because real human beings, okay, so that's what the polls, that's what happens when we actually poll the people. I'm on 1B, Laura, and we're gonna get to 2. Here's the point. Here's the point. After that,
it's Leader Hakeem Jeffries. I'm gonna keep this short.
The actual humans and not the vampires said that they liked it. It made them feel reassured. They realized that he now can do what he said he can do because they saw that he had intelligence. And he's not a monkey like the orange guy. Right. Everybody else said, "Where's my monkey?" That's what they wanted. And so they found it. They found their monkey and put that as their headline.
It's just the news networks asking him to step down.
This is what really happens.
There are multiple Democratic lawmakers who are also asking him to step down. Just take a look at this clip.
Look, this was a meeting that lasted nearly 2 hours. It began at 2 this afternoon. It was a virtual meeting because, again, lawmakers have not been back to the Capitol since that debate. They're returning actually in person tomorrow, so I assume we will see even more of them joining in person, finally huddling and reconvening with their colleagues to get on the same page or not about...
Yeah. On the other hand, this is how we feel. And then it's on to number 2, Laura.
Yes.
I'm
Just
sorry.
take a look at this clip.
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse race.
So I'm really glad that Stephen Colbert is being a voice of reason here because...
And that is how we all feel. You're not alone, YouTube. You are not alone, Diz, Midas Kevin. You're not alone. You're not alone, Stephanie B2. You're not alone. Who else we have in here, Laura? All of you people that are here, that are watching this tomorrow, you're not alone. Don't panic. Actual real human beings that go to work and eat food and not blood.
Yep.
Not vampires.
Panic is the key. That's what I was saying last week about Farron Cousins and all these others. You know, we could, like I said, we could have that conversation later, but
yeah, we can get into the Farron Cousins too. But you know, I guess sometimes it takes a comedian to laugh at the obvious. You know, the politicians just can't seem to see it. All right, what you got for me, Laura?
not enough drama from Joe for them. So yeah, they got to make up a monkey dance.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
What are we on to now?
So we're on number 2. We're gonna. So this is what the media should be covering.
This is driving me and many others crazy about. The stuff has been coming out more now about the Epstein involvement.
Uh-huh.
And it's been something that the mainstream media has been not touching or barely touching. But it's seeping its way through all the same, and it's even affecting the opinion of some of the MAGA voters, apparently.
Oh, really?
Really starting to seep through to them too. There's some effect we're seeing from this, and Donald's panicking.
Well, I absolutely like that. What I do want is I think that the Democratic Party, instead of turning themselves inside, because here's the truth, you know, as they are talking about Biden stepping down, I wonder. I mean, it couldn't be because there's anybody else looking to take position or Joe Biden's job. You know, the Democrats, the politicians who would never do anything they could do to get a chance to become president themselves, maybe, or serve in an administration that they helped to bolster, right? No! It's only for the good of the country, of course. It's only for the good of the country, right? Well, luckily, the next time you guys go to vote for your latest Democrat, remember who knew what to talk about. Was it Biden being old, or was it this?
So like Chairman Aguilar said, we hear a lot from our constituents on different issues, but something I've heard that doesn't seem to be being covered are the Epstein files. These files were released, and like Donald Trump sort of all over this, right? There are pictures of him with Jeffrey Epstein. He's taken multiple plane flights with Epstein, with young girls on board. He is in call logs with Epstein. One of the highest trending hashtags on Twitter right now is about Trump and Epstein. I'm not going to repeat the hashtag because we're in a dignified setting. But yeah, you all might want to look at that because that's highly disturbing. And again, it shows that Donald Trump is unfit for office. And by the way, he was convicted in a civilian court for sexual assault, convicted in a separate court of 34 felonies. Donald Trump should drop out of the race.
Laura? He's been convicted of sexual assault. The judge in that case said he's civilly liable for rape. So guys, yeah. I said the R word. We're going to get demonetized. Please don't hesitate to hit that button.
Joe, the president said it, so it can't be a crime.
According to the Supreme Court, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct.
Yep, you said it loud and proud tonight. Trump, that woman.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do what the media doesn't do. Allow or what corporate media hasn't done. Midas Touch has done a great job here, so we're going to go ahead and quote them and make sure that you see what the real news is.
So a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people, and I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew. and you've criticized Bill Clinton's.
That's what Donald Trump says, that Epstein likes women on the younger side. Trump would party with Epstein. Just take a look at this. These are the flight logs. Trump's name appears at least 7 times on Epstein's plane. Epstein flew on Donald Trump's plane and brought a young girl of indeterminate age, it was reported. At the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, it was reported that Jeffrey Epstein introduced this was a testimony at the trial, that a 14-year-old girl was introduced by Epstein to Donald Trump. And we need more politicians, Epstein and Donald Trump's connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Watch this.
And so, again, because the gentle lady from Georgia, I know is such an advocate for women's rights, as she mentioned, and is so concerned about grooming, and apparently we don't have any standards here anymore. Again, I just want to remind my colleagues, because, you know, I don't want them to forget about hypocrisy, okay?
You guys get the picture. He's holding up a sign, a big picture of Freudian slip, Donald Trump hugging Epstein. Let's talk about these things.
Portion where one of the victims that was trafficked by Epstein said that while she was on the plane, Epstein told the pilot that they were going to stop off at one of Trump's hotels in Atlantic City. Is Donald Trump on audio right here saying that at his beauty pageants he would inspect naked girls without their consent, and that because he led the pageants, you can do it, you can get away with it. They let you do it when you are the head of the pageants. Watch.
Did you happen to hear that one, Laura? That while he was ahead of the pageants, he could just inspect the naked little girls? Because
that's his job. It's his responsibility to inspect the meat before serving it up.
Yep, but guess what, Laura? Guess what? Biden's old. Did you know that?
Oh, I forgot. Jeez.
Where's the monkey?
Party that was ahead of the Look of the Year competition. This is the competition that Donald Trump was sponsoring, just so you can see, like, these are little girls.
I'm going to leave that picture up, even though it disgusts me. I'm going to leave the picture up until it disgusts you. America, not the good people on this live. When this live goes out, MSNBC, while you're asking if Joe Biden said Trump instead of Harris, because he just happened to hear that word, while you're asking him what his sleep schedule is, I implore you to look at the picture of the little girls that Donald Trump fondles for fun and brags about. I implore you to look.
Or no affair, where there is no crime anyway.
By the way, did you see a single story other than on the Midas Touch Network that editorial board or anybody said anywhere that says Donald Trump is calling the porn star who he had sex with a horse face?
Right. So, Laura, maybe we should talk about that instead of Biden. What do you think? Is there anybody left? Let's lighten the mood. Is there anybody left that cares about what's actually happening, Laura? Number 3 here.
Sorry, I was just reading the comments.
Go ahead with them. Go ahead with the comments. We need to make sure that they're actually, because I can't see their comments.
Carla's joined us, and she says the way she sees it is that all the celebrities and others who want Biden to step down is bullshit. Biden says stay in all the way, they would vote for him anyway, even if he was a convicted felon.
You said even if he was a convicted felon? No, absolutely.
Well, Bob Menendez is about to be.
Yeah. So here's the difference. That sounds good, and I understand where that comes from, because almost anything would say, yeah, you know what? We don't want to vote for the guy who tried to be the first president in America who couldn't lose a race. We don't want to be the guy who's the first president in America who ever used the D word, and it's not dick pic. It's dictatorship. We don't want to ever vote for the guy who was the guy who was going up an escalator, looked at a 10-year-old girl and said, you know what? I'll be dating her in 10 years. You're right. We would almost do anything to not have that guy in. But if you haven't learned by now, the Democratic Party is thinking about replacing Biden because he's old. What makes you think that if he was a convicted felon, he wouldn't already be gone? Stop lying to yourself. If he had done anything like what Trump has done yesterday, or the day before, or the day before, or the day before, or the day before, or the year before, or the year before, or the year before that, in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s, if Biden had done that any time, he would be gone. He was almost pushed out of there. He was almost pushed out of there because he's old. Because he had a gaffe. Meanwhile, the other guy talks about drowning in electrocution boats. Hannibal Lecter. And they clap. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Look at yourself. Look at what's happening. The man buried his wife in his golf course. And his sycophants still say, I want him as king. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we asking about? That's not true. If Biden had 34 convictions, he would not be there. His own son, he never touched. He let him go to jail. Menendez, gone. Who's the New York congressman that we pushed out because he had bad text messages? You remember him? There's 40 of them. The Democrat pushes them out, gets them out of there. Yes, they're all corrupt, sure. They're all making money, definitely. But God, dog it. Can we be honest? What are we talking about, people? Someone had a bad picture. He's out. Someone gets caught making a joke about a woman. He's out. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. Meanwhile, there's a guy named Moore in Alabama who has more child rape cases than Trump does. And he's still running for election. Meanwhile, Kristi Noem shoots her freaking dog in the face. Meanwhile, this guy has sex with a porn star, comes back with 34 convictions, and has a lineup of people in the legislative branch, not the judicial branch, going and intervening on national TV while they dress like him. If you don't see it yet, I'm sorry, but it was not the same. It's not the same. You have to agree there. We have to start there. It's not the same. When we're running against when we're running against Kristi Noem, when we're running against what's her name from North Carolina, who's now when we're running against Chris Christie, when we're running against Ron DeSantis, we can then have an argument about left and right. We can have an argument about who would vote for who. We're not running against that. That's not what this is. It's not the same. It's not the same. All right, number 3.
Welcome, Mike. All the negative, unwarranted media coverage on Biden is just making him more of a martyr and it's galvanizing voters. Well, yes. Yeah. But that's not thanks to the media. It's thanks to the voters.
Yeah, thanks to the voters. Thank God you guys are human beings, not vampires. I'll tell you what, you know who, and here's a big part. We'll be ending it soon. I'm going to go through the rest of them really quick because the whole point is, thank God for people like this.
I also want to make sure that I level set because I thought it was interesting that we were having an EPA hearing considering the fact that some people in this chamber don't believe in this thing called climate change. So I just wanted to level set really quickly with you and find out from you if you believe that climate change is real or a hoax.
Climate change is very real.
Okay, thank you so much. I thought you may say that. And interestingly enough, you know, I'm sure that there are those in this country that are looking for those Nixon Republicans, those Republicans that simply just wanted to do the work of the people and weren't about sending out misinformation, disinformation, and continuously trying to undermine our federal government agencies that are trying to do everything that they can to protect the people. When we look at the Supreme Court in their recent ruling, again, they chose not to protect the American people. But hopefully we would get people in the legislature and maybe we can get some legislation on the books to combat what the Supreme Court did so that we can get back to the business of protecting people. The reason that I bring Nixon up is because it was President Nixon, a Republican, who spearheaded the EPA's creation at a time where our country and communities were facing deteriorating air qualities in cities where there was rampant pollution in our neighborhoods and when urban water supplies were constantly being contaminated with dangerous toxins.
Those Republicans that want to do the good of the people but just have a different way of doing it, that is our friend, our great friend, Darla Mar. I don't care what any of you believe. I need you to understand that that is the people that she's talking about. The people who just happened to not think the way that we think about how big government should be, or maybe about how taxes should be used or spread. Maybe have religious convictions. Those people are what used to be Republicans. But in order to stay a Republican, you've had to turn yourself into a mushroom. You've had to get rid of everything you knew. Go underground and leave all of your feelings there. So the only thing that shows is the seed that spreads the disinformation. That's it. She's saying the same thing I'm saying. I know that you don't believe what Trump believes. I know that you're against the disgusting and gross movement that's happening in your party. And the rest of you out there that are not Republicans realize that there are Republicans out there, a lot of them, that hate it, but are put in this thing where it's like they still have to be against the Democrat because they're so used to it. Because they know they don't believe what the Democrats believe, but there's nowhere else for them to go. But that's what's happened. Those people that she was talking about are Darla Mars, our friend, who watches this all the time so she can learn and she can say what she wants. And there has been many times where we've had to think about what she said because it's been correct. They've left you, D, my friend, they've left you. They've left you gone. See you later. And they've made you have to sign a contract with the devil if you want to stay with them. And I know you won't because you said you wouldn't. I'd rather you vote for no one than to sign your blood on the dotted line of this gross thing that's growing, this pus-filled pimple growing out of the soil of your party. That's not what you voted for. I know that. You know that. I'm glad that someone's saying it. Who's saying it matters.
At the end of the day, I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they can. They're in a box. They are in a box where they've got to choose between a mentally incompetent president and a DEI vice president, and they know that they're going to be facing a problem either way.
You can obviously see that he's ignorant as all get out. And number two, you can see that he wishes he had half the competency of Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't talk to me about what a DEI hire looks like, because we know that you have never, ever engaged in diversity, equity, or inclusion when it came to your office. So we know that you don't know anything about hiring diversity. But let me tell you one of the real facts about diversity in this country. We're missing out on trillions of dollars in GDP, and they can go and check the receipts if they want to, because we have the rogue governors coming out of the state of Texas that are anti-DEI. We've got the rogue governor in Florida and so forth. And so what they need to do is get over their incompetence and just try to get on our level and decide that they're going to compete and start to come up with actual policies instead of going after people because of how they look or how they were born.
Okay, first of all, it's racist. You're racist. Disgusting. Racist. Offensive. It offends me. Your racism. Blatant. Gross. Open racism. If you disagree with everything the vice president has ever done, the moment you say she's a DEI hire, it implies that she somehow is less than worthy of her position that she's earned and graduated from for years because she's black. It's racist. Somebody's calling it out. While the Democrats are talking about how old Joe Biden is, black women and liberals are calling it out. The people who have the least and have had to beg and borrow for everything saved you again. Democrats, they saved you again. And the people who have the most turn against you, Biden. All of them that thought they could move up in the world, all white Democrats, were so quick to go against you on your first debate problem. Mishap, misspeak, malfunction, maleficent excuse of a debate, malignant debate. Fine. At the first chance, they all scraped their nails at the door to knock you down, and the last people left to lift you back up are the same black women who got you voted in. The same progressives. Don't follow TYT. I don't know what the hell that is anymore. But actual progressives are the only ones that have your back. I say, oh, there goes a little bit of acolyte, my little guilty pleasure there. I say,
Monkey likes TYT.
yeah, the monkey loves TYT. He looks like Jank. Bring him up again. Let me see him. There he is. There, of course, there he is. That's him. That's him. That's him. You see, people, while there were those who were turning their back
to the left.
Let me just make sure that you can still see it. All right, good. You can still hear it. Oh, of course I failed. I am not smarter than a fifth grader. It's a good thing I'm not running for president, Laura. These lives would be so much faster if I was smarter than a fifth grader. But we're going to try this again.
Looking for an easy way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello to Taylor Brand. You just go to their site, enter your LLC state, add your business name.
I know it's a big rant today, guys, but you heard the music when I started.
Now your business has
this is it. It's serious time.
Plus is approved by the state.
Yeah,
and it took you like what? 7 minutes? It takes.
There's been a lot of pent-up stuff.
Most part.
The debate. And,
the only Democrat.
Here we go, people. This is the point. We're going to watch a little bit of
same people
Feldman.
Who hate unions. They're very comfortable. So what if he has Parkinson's? Biden appeared on MSNBC's Morning Joe Monday morning to challenge any Democrat who doesn't think he can win to run against him. Biden said, run against me, announce for president, challenge me at the convention, go ahead. Biden is wisely taking a page from the Trump playbook by saying it's the elitists in the Democratic Party who are trying to ditch him. And to be fair, it was the elitists who hired him.
Can anybody hear it?
Joe, did you really think the neoliberal corporate cheats who destroyed Bernie and Elizabeth Warren 4 years ago so you could be their nominee?
That's where Darla Marr is correct. Because if you think great and honest Democratic voter out there, that these a-holes didn't ditch Bernie because he would take away their money and throw up candidates that they know would keep them rich. The same ones that are turning on Biden now were the same ones that made us have to vote for him when we didn't want to. Darla's correct. There is malfeasance on the Democratic side. It's not as illegal and disgraceful and disgusting and open-handedly racist and gross. It is detrimental to us, a society of people, blue and red. It is. Darla's correct. In that moment.
We're ever going to show you loyalty?
They weren't.
You're a hired hand. These neoliberal Democratic hacks think Biden's just as disposable as those swing state factory workers they always lay off and then wonder why the middle class votes Republican. The people who forced Joe on us 4 years ago, I'm a Bernie guy, the people who forced Joe on us 4 years ago and now think he can be replaced are the same people who hate unions. They're very comfortable firing people. Abigail Disney was calling for Democrats to stop donating until Joe quits. Well, she was paying some of her workers, black and female, $750 a month to work 35-hour weeks until the Hollywood Reporter did an expose and she learned that's wrong. She learned
Democrats, pay attention. This is how we win. This is how we win. And when we get Biden in, this is what we demand changes.
About income inequality 8 years ago, and it took an expose in the Hollywood Reporter to teach Abigail Disney that paying black and female workers to do documentaries about marginalized communities, paying them $750 a month to work 35-hour weeks, is grotesque, immoral. But we should listen to Abigail Disney. She says, I'm a Democrat, and Joe needs to step aside. Do you think the Democrats who put the thumb on the scale for Joe back in 2020 are ever going to give us Medicare for all? Are ever in this mini primary that they're dreaming of, in this open convention they're talking about, do you think they're ever going to give us Medicare for all? Do you think they're going to get rid of Trump's tax cuts for the rich or raise the minimum wage? Yes, these people are strong on abortion, tamping down prejudice, and LGBTQ rights, but that's only because it affects them personally. For the most part, the only Democrats telling us Biden can't win are the ones who have nothing to lose. It's unimaginable to these people that some of us have grown to like Joe, because he is moving a little to the left. It's unimaginable to these tired and bloated hacks like Rob Reiner, Abigail Disney, Barry Diller, who just turned 120, the editorial boards of the Washington Post, the New York Times, David Remnick of the New Yorker. It's unimaginable to these elitist snobs that there are actually people, Democrats, willing to knock on doors in states these pampered elitists wouldn't dare step foot in. They don't understand how a ground game works. They read one or two bad polls for Joe Biden and they wet the bed, and they want the election handed to them because everything in their life has been handed to them. They don't want to work for anything.
I.e., could you imagine if for the past 2 weeks after that debate, everyone and anyone with a D beside their name went on TV and said, what the F are you talking about? This man is a billion times better than Trump. If the past 2 weeks was spent like that, I got polls for you coming next that will tell you nothing has really changed in the polls. But if they spent the 2 weeks doing that instead of shooting themselves in the head with their own guns, where we would be, can you imagine?
Just want to pick this magical white knight, white, by the way, who's going to save us all. And so, by digging in his heels, Joe is now tapping into the same contempt for the Beltway's ruling class that Trump taps into. It's smart. And it is the left of center Democrats, the progressives, the real progressives, who are now coming to Joe's side. The Squad, the Progressive Black Caucus, women, black women, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, they're the ones who are saving Joe's ass right now. And he's not going away. He'll remember that after he wins in November, and if he forgets, we'll remind him. He'll remember who saved his ass. It was the progressives. It was women, black women, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren. And if he forgets, we'll remind him.
And that's where my rant ends an hour and a half later. Yes, we're saying whoever is a Democratic nominee, we're voting for them. Yes, at Political Drain. We think the media is a pus-filled pimple on the ass of this country because they have failed at their constitutional duty. The only job written in the Constitution. Mandated. Because it's so important to democracy. They'd rather play monkey games than report on actual... Thank you, Laura. Thank you. But by God, where TYT was right when they started, why we loved them, was because we must remember to remind Joe Biden who saved him and who turned on him if and when he gets reelected. Can we ask for those progressive policies? Can we fight for those progressive policies? Political Drain, people who watch, will you fight for those, as much as I implore you to fight up until November, to ensure that you find a rideshare program, get people to the polls, talk to your friends, your neighbors, and your family. Get one extra person who may not have been able to go. Find out where you can donate. Find out how you can contribute. Today, there are organizations out there. We post them all the time. I'll post them again. As much as I ask you to fight for that, the minute after he's voted in, I implore you to fight. You know why the black women is so reliable? Because they know the consequences if it's not. They know that they're the first on the front lines. Most people's lives will not change. If you're over 50 and you're white and you're a man, your life may not really change that much. The horrors that you see will be the horrors done on us, on your Jewish friends, on the black women who get disenfranchised in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, right now, Virginia, South Carolina, Kentucky. The horrors that you see, you will feel bad because you're a decent person. Your life may not change that much. The people who are so reliable for their votes, the reason why is because we've seen the other side. We've seen what happens when a Trump gets elected. We've seen what happens. Even when you get rid of abortion, rich families find a way to leave the state and come back. Poor families lose lives and children. For their sake, for our sake, for my sake, for the country's sake. The day after the election, make Joe Biden remember who saved his ass. That's my plea. That's my plea. That's my plea. Laura.
No, I agree. Absolutely. He got in there the first time on the back of black women in America, and once again, they've got his back, and these new young progressives too. He's going to have to and Bernie endorsement.
Yep.
And he's got the unions. I mean, he's got it, and we've got him, and we're going to make sure he continues to move things forward like he's been doing. Finish this job.
We aren't even going to go here, but the Israel thing, we've got to force him on it. But I guarantee you that if anyone's out there saying, well, I'm not going to vote for him because of Israel, it's only because your privilege allows you to do that.
I hear Susan Collins is going to to vote for Nikki Haley. She must be concerned.
That wasn't meant facetiously at all, Laura.
Like, what? Why? Okay, I can see Darla saying she just won't vote because she can't just bring herself to, but
I can, so I can see that. The thing is,
people who are undecided, though, who still intend to vote but are still undecided, I don't understand how that can be.
Well, those people are the people who don't watch Political Drain.
Right.
The only time they've ever seen the news was on a trip, on the airport, waiting for their plane. Whenever you see somebody say undecided, I guarantee you, it's not everybody is steeped in what we're steeped in, right? We have to always remember that. People have lives to live. People have kids, husbands. People have rent and gas. Like, they work. And then they want to watch the Kardashians or their favorite reality television show. That's why Trump is where he is. Not because anybody thought that he was great, but because the people who watched reality TV already knew him, so he just so happened to already have a name.
Well, Joe mentioned that at the rally in Detroit tonight. He said that, thanks to reality TV, here we are. We got to stop treating politics like sports teams and reality TV. And I've been saying that for years.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And we got some stuff to show about that too. Since you mentioned it real quick, let's see one thing.
Excuse my back. I apologize. Look, folks. Members of Congress.
Of the polls, the one he cited is accurate, that he is even leading now in some, but still the average of polls had.
Back when the United States lost 3 million jobs. And by the way, Donald Trump is the only president in American history, other than Herbert Hoover, who lost more jobs than he had when he came in. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump.
We could be.
And that has been happening a little bit because of the free pass he's been getting.
If it wasn't so serious, it'd all be like a made-up novel would happen. Now, I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. You may have noticed that since the debate, the press and their good guys and women up there, they've been hammering me. I make a lot of mistakes.
I want you guys to see the difference. You see, this is called mob mentality. The leader is in control of what happens next. He said, look at those good guys back there, talking about the press. There's one person who loves democracy, and there's another person who pisses and shits on it for fun, for his own personal gain. What the leader does in this moment shows you the differences between the candidates.
No, it's okay. They've been hammering me because I sometimes confuse names. I say that's Charlie instead of Bill. But guess what? Donald Trump has gotten a free pass.
And he'll expand on that point in a second.
Now, the deal is, he says no. He says his point, he talks over their yelling. He could have had a mob start going and talking about the media and how gross they are and how he's going to arrest them. He could have them frothing at the mouth and how they lie. What he did was calmly control the mob as the leader, made his point, and moved on. He said they were good people, not the Nazis, like Trump did.
Not like that.
He said those people up there, they've been misled. Grace, graciousness, decency, understanding of the values for which the country was built. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, both sides used to be able to do that.
Take what he's been talking about. Hannibal Lecter, he says, is a nice guy. Trump would rather be electrocuted than eaten by a shark. You know that whole thing, remember that? Poor Donald. He can't even watch TV this week because it's Shark Week. And by the way...
Yeah, that's Trump's now rather notorious election.
This is deadly earnest. When that butcher Putin, who I know have known for a long time, when he invaded Ukraine, here's what Trump said. I'm not making this up either. He called him a genius and said it was wonderful. What in the hell is going on? But people would rather talk about how I mix up names. I guess they don't remember that Trump called Nikki Haley Nancy Pelosi. Well, no more. Donald, no more free passes.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get to the part that Laura was speaking about on this one.
Look, you want to know how bad a businessman Trump really is? Just think about this. He inherited millions of dollars only to squander it. He's filed bankruptcy 6 times. He even went bankrupt running a casino. I didn't think that was possible.
No, that's not it. Where are we at here? Come on. I thought I had it lined up, but everything is important.
2025. Oh, but it's really focused on. You heard about it. It's the blueprint for the second Trump term.
Right, and we've had lots and lots of Project 2025 discussion on the show recently.
Guys,
and
I'm trying to
have
find
this.
it. Come on, one more. Where is it?
We've never seen anything like this. And it's not a joke. It's time for us to stop treating politics like entertainment and reality TV.
There it is.
Another 4 years of Donald Trump is deadly serious. Deadly serious. His proposals are deadly serious. America.
Laura, we can start anywhere you want to after that. You're 100% correct. We've got to stop treating this stuff like a reality TV show. Again, people, I want you to remember a 50-minute press conference on NATO with one country at war defending itself against Putin, another one at war causing a genocide, using American weapons. And Biden trying to thread the needle between the two. This was the headline. Biden fails NATO press conference. This was the headline. Asked about mixing up names of Putin and Zelensky. This was the headline. String of gaffes in crucial press conference. They hate you. They hate you. That's not news. That's reality TV. That's clickbait. If they said Biden talks seriously about the war in Israel and a ceasefire, they know half of the people wouldn't click. Because like cows and sheep, we've been desensitized to things that are important and jump and look around quickly at the shiny Kardashian or the orange giant or the gaffe. We can't do it. This is not a celebrity boxing match.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't trust even formerly respected media such as New York Times, which is now confirmed scandal rag with the lies and speculation that they were printing and airing all last week or two after the debate. And you know, the thing about the neurologist visits to the White House that they blew out of proportion and completely lied about something else too. The number of senators or some quotes from certain unnamed people in Congress. Totally non-fact check stuff. Really dismal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden today or yesterday they came out saying, "Oh, Donald is unfit," and everybody's yay, New York Times again.
Oh, after 4 months, after 6 months of talking about how unfit he was because he didn't give you the interview that you wanted. You say Donald's unfit, and everybody claps. It's a joke. It's a joke. Laura, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
And what, they keep asking for Joe to do more, to be seen there more in public. Well, like you showed his schedule from last week, was it? How much he does in a day? He's been doing like 20 events here and there, and no, he has to do more. He isn't the dancing monkey they want. He's just doing the job.
Yeah.
It's not enough drama, so they gotta get Clooney to opine on it.
Oh my God.
And actually, they're saying that Clooney left that fundraiser 3 hours earlier than Joe did, so who's the one going to bed early around here?
Listen, you know, Clooney can have his own ideas. I think the whole idea of why we even know that he said that is, and we're going to run through 6, 7, and 7B, Laura. Set up, the reason why is the same thing. The monkey, okay? He's an actor. He's famous. And politicians have been using famous people to help get the word out since there has been famous people. Reagan was elected because he was a famous person. Right? It's normal. But if you had seen this, but if you reported on this, if you realized that you're talking about a felon, and I understand it might be hard because the right seems to love that he's a felon, or have told himself that they do, or whatever it is. Set up this commercial, darling. Have you seen this? I'm on 6. Have you ever seen the $2 bill commercial?
Me? Oh God, it's so disturbing.
Give them a quick setup before I play this because they need to be ready for it. They need to be ready for it.
What was the old saying? Fake is a $3 bill. This guy is actually doing this grift that out of all his scripts so far, for some reason, turned my stomach the most. And out of all of the other things he's done, putting his face on your flag and changing the words to the national anthem, this should offend the capitalist mentality Americans the most.
Oh, well said. Well said. Now, I will leave that there. Let's watch this, people. This should offend the capitalists the most. Great take. I love that. I knew that I should come to you for that setup because I didn't have that. The capitalists gotta hate this one. People, you're not gonna believe it. Just brace yourself. Can you hear it?
I'm about to play a new Trump commercial for you, but be forewarned. Even by Donald Trump standards, it is unbelievable.
This $2 bill features President Trump's mugshot. Donald J. Trump makes history once again by becoming the first former president of the United States to ever be criminally indicted. The powers that be have made good on their threats to get him by indicting him 4 times. On Thursday, August 24, 2023, President Trump was formally arraigned in Fulton County, Georgia, and this moment in history created the first mugshot of a United States president. In the photo, President Trump displays a furrowed brow and a determined gaze, showing he's ready to fight. He says he will never surrender. Whether or not you are a supporter of the 45th president, there's
I never got my shirt, Laura.
The importance of this photo. That's why National Collectors Mint has taken crisp, uncirculated U.S. legal tender $2 bills direct from sealed treasury packs, then enhanced them to commemorate this event. The mugshot seen round the world is front and center in the portrait oval, flanked by images of the flag and President Trump's famous signature. His inmate number is inscribed below the photo.
His inmate number is inscribed below the photograph. Is this a hip-hop video? What?
And his declaration, never surrender, is boldly presented on the bill. The final issue price was to be set at $39. However, during this special release, this full-color commemorative $2 bill can be yours for only $19.95, protected by our 60-day money-back guarantee. Each full-color bill comes complete with a certificate of authenticity in a collector's portfolio for preservation and protection. There is a strict limit of 5 bills per caller. First come, first served, so earliest orders receive priority over later ones. So hurry, don't delay. Now you can reserve your own colorized Trump mugshot $2 bill. Avoid disappointment and future regret. Call now.
Call 1-800-250-5167. That's 1-800-250-5167.
I'm going to make this big. I want people to see my face. If you're not embarrassed by that horse shit, you've lost your way. If you're not embarrassed by that horse shit, if you came upon this channel by accident and by some grace of God you've made it this far, if you're not embarrassed of what they think of you, of what your party thinks of you, how they just said the most famous mugshot of all time, and they put his inmate number in gold. They hate you. You're a commodity. The biggest thing I saw on that commercial was it was on Fox Business. It was also on, I think, CNBC. But say just Fox Business. You know how much a commercial costs for Fox Business? What are we talking, Laura? 30,000? 35? That means they've done enough research to know that they can spend $35,000 and make it back from you because you're an idiot. Because you'll pay $19 for a $2 bill. They know that they've already destroyed whatever was left of you by incessantly filling your mind with horse shit. They know that they can make you believe that Kennedy's coming back to life. They know that they can make you believe that Hillary drinks kids' blood. They know they can make you believe that school shootings aren't because of guns, but because of anything else. Because of God. Because prayer's out of school. What's one more grift? They hate you. They despise you. They laugh at you, and they milk you dry while you blame an immigrant who has never, ever done anything but pick a fucking strawberry. They can't vote. They can't work. They've cleaned your hotel room and picked your strawberries, killed chickens at Purdue. I've been there. I used to work for a law firm that had to, unfortunately, defend Purdue. I've been there. Every person in that slaughterhouse was an immigrant. They like it that way. It makes sure that you can have cheap chicken. But they tell you that they're taking your job. Where do you work? Do you work at a hotel? Do you work picking strawberries? No. Who's taking your job and your money is the person you're giving $19.99 to for a $2 bill. They're taking your money because they've already taken everything else from you. Okay? Okay. All right. I think I said it as clearly as possible. Laura, what do you think?
I think, yeah, all these people that are scared of everything that's being taken away from them should take a look at all the things they're being given in the way of student loan forgiveness and lower drug prices and all the other benefits that have come along the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny is in Project 2025, they want to eliminate Social Security. And every single normal, not rich or, Mark Zuckerberg Republican, every single normal, regular, everyday Republican is against getting rid of Social Security. But will still vote for them. Because they just think that they think that it's untrue. That somehow the people who want strong unions, the people who want actual benefits for people, they said it. You guys want welfare for everybody, but you still believe that we want to take away Social Security. We want welfare for everyone, but we want to take away welfare for old people. It doesn't even make sense when you think about it. Those liberals want to give all the money away and you don't have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They want to just feed everybody off the government titty, but they want to take away Social Security. How does it make sense? How could it make sense? It doesn't have to make sense. Neither does a $2 bill with Trump's mugshot on it. It doesn't matter anymore. They got you. They got you.
Yeah, this will really keep me alive when Putin takes over.
Can I pay for insulin with this $2 bill?
Please.
I think you still can. Once it's defaced, only if it's ripped in half, I think the law says. So as long as it's more than half of the bill, you can still use it as money. So, we got that back.
Yeah, that nice metal Donald Trump card, whatever it's supposed to do, you could dig your own grave with it. I don't know.
Listen, what you do?
What use is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So here's the deal. They could be talking about this, but they're not. I say, since they're not talking about it, we're going to end with these two things, guys. Then we're going to talk about some good news. We're almost done. I'm sorry. I know it's important, but I hope you're having a good time. I know Laura's chatting with you guys while I'm ranting. Laura, who's been in the news that we can look at and say, they're doing the job correctly. Because it's not all gloom and doom. Who's been in the news? On Fox News, on CNN, whatever it is, that we can say, they went in there, and if the newsroom is showing the $2 bills and acting like, for some reason, Biden making a gaffe is the same thing as the Epstein files, who's gone in there and done it right, in your opinion? Yep. We're at 7.
What?
7B. You're talking to the folks. 7 and 7B. 7 and 7B. The numbers.
I missed the.
Oh, you missed the question. They'll say,
You were
who's
asking
gone
me
into? Yeah, who's gone into Fox News
Which got it right?
and said, yeah, and gone in there and done it right? Since the media refuses to do it right, we need our Congress people, we need our senators to go in there and actually say the things that are important. How to deal with the media. People like
Oh yes. Yes. Camilla Jayapal.
Okay.
You got to get more like Crockett and the rest of those slapbacks.
Hold on. You know what? That's 100% correct. This is how I have that one here. I think we have oh man, so what's going on? I can't click on it now. There we go.
And Bernie too they're in CNN space.
Yes.
God loves you. Your life on earth matters and has purpose. Meet with missionaries like us to learn what God has always known about you. Why you're here.
Do you think it's okay to have a president, though, where there's this open question about whether or not he's in cognitive decline?
Do you think it was okay to have President Trump in cognitive decline for his entire 4 years?
When a Fox News reporter tried to ambush her with questions about...
There you go. That's how you deal with it.
Do you think it was okay to have President Trump in cognitive decline for his entire 4 years?
For the race?
It's not hard.
Ouch. What a great comeback. What a great mic drop moment for
It's not hard.
Representative Jayapal. As far as I'm concerned, this is at least one of the standard answers that Democrats should give any time that a member of right-wing media...
And that's the point. Laura, that's the point. You said Bernie.
Yeah.
Here we go. Instead of shooting yourself every day.
They trust Trump on the economy more.
Let me just say this. What media does, to a large degree, is make politics into a beauty contest.
We got Fetterman, too.
Award-winning contest.
Right
You
on,
are
Fetterman.
voting for somebody on policy. Who is going to improve your life?
A fed-up Bernie Sanders called out the media for their irrational priority of the Democratic Party, and he's been an unlikely but deeply loyal ally of President Biden.
Right now, President Biden is the Democratic nominee. Until I hear differently, I will support him. And I do believe that if he makes it clear that he is prepared to stand up for working people, take on powerful special interests, yeah, he will win the election.
And that is the point. If he is prepared, this is the rallying cry of everyone who watches this channel, everyone who's in the Democratic Party. If this happens to get luckily sent to you by someone important, that's not me. The rallying cry is, if he's willing to stand up and make it clear that he's standing up for working people and against the interests of the big corporations, he will win. Because that's something that we all want. That's what we all want. This is the thing that polls at 70 to 80% in every state, red or blue. We want to return our investment, Biden. We'll vote for you. We want a return on our investment. Bernie says it right. This is the time for leverage, not for pulling down. If we were smart, I think the progressives are, that's why they're making sure that they're not the people turning their backs. They need to make sure that Biden, you got people who are constantly trying to get you out. I got you. I got you. I'll even come stump and campaign with you as long as I can say, he's for us. He's for the working people. He's for higher taxes on the rich. He's for getting closer to a full government medical system, or medical system that anyone can be on. Maybe we can use the French medical system, which is kind of the best way that I've seen so far. We're going to have somebody soon doing an interview about that from France. But we've got to get something for our investment.
Would you support the vice president if he gets behind her?
Right now, Biden is the Democratic nominee, period.
During this interview with CNN's Caitlin Collins, he makes it clear that he is really annoyed with the media's irrational priorities, that they're focused on spectacle and lack of substance. They're focused on style over substance instead of policy, which should inform.
I need the monkey. The monkey! The monkey. Where's his symbols? He's not doing his job. We're paying him 50 cents an hour. I want the...
Back to work.
There we go.
You only get a half-hour break.
We're paying him 50 cents an hour. I want the symbols.
They're reporting, or at least to some.
Oh, by the way, since we're talking about, hey, if you want the monkey to be paid more than 50 cents an hour, take a look at Laura's shirt. Show him that shirt, Laura. Convicted felon. That's from our merch section. Also, we also have, this is not from our merch section. I love this one. But
I got my tin cup. The monkey can accept your donations.
Oh, love it. You know, I took the cup for granted because I have mine for so long. I had my my Team Box Cutter cup for so long. I was like, I didn't even think about it. But you're right. Okay, so we got cups too. Look at that. And we got I Dissent shirts. If you don't like what the Supreme Court has done and made presidents kings. So listen, I said the R word. I said the F word. I've done a lot already that's going to get this demonetized. If you want the monkey to make more than 50 cents an hour, guys, support. Support. If you like what we do and don't like what these other fools do, support. I know it's a long one. Look at him. He's crying. We also can do super chats. Send us a super chat.
Working for peanuts is all very fine. But we can show monkey a better time.
Oh, and she rhymed. I like it. I was going to rap for money last time. But yeah, so you guys get the picture, man. You guys get the picture. We Feldman too on Fox News. You want to do that one too, Laura, or are you ready to move on to what's next? Take a look at what Mr. Feldman said, or Fetterman. I'm sorry, Fetterman on Fox News. Fetterman. Yep. Let's take a look at it. The video isn't available anymore. Wow. We waited too long. They waited too long. They didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like the progressives were out there for Biden much more than these alleged centrist moderate things. Like, who were they? Most of them I'd never heard of before or seen before.
They're all
11 or 15 of them out of the whole conference, but everybody that mattered had goes back, and we all just had to be a little patient, and we knew we'd hit his stride, and today proved it. That everybody's got to watch that rally from today.
Yeah,
it's historic, and he did. Oh, he punched some. I don't think he made any gaffes. None that stood out.
No, he didn't. He didn't at all. I watched the whole thing, but again, sure, I might be biased because I was so happy to see him just have a crowd, and he did the same thing in North Carolina. But I didn't see any gaffes. I saw leadership. I saw a guy who is 80 years old, who's smarter than your average bear, continue to be smart, whether you like his policies or not. You know who else was smart? I'll tell you who was smart. George Bush Sr. Yep. Very smart. I was against every single one of his policies, but he was intelligent enough to run a country, to speak to world leaders on our behalf. He was elected fair and square by the American people. That's what they wanted. He did his job. You know who was smart? Bill Clinton. He was horny, but he was smart. You know who was smart? Barack Obama. The Republicans and Democrats, all down the line, you don't have to agree with their policies because they get voted in by the voters. The voters have that choice, and doggone it, we respect that. But there's a dummy, idiot, fascist, dictator-loving, wimpy, abused, abuser who paints himself orange because of a deep sense of constant insecurity given to him by his father, who was at more KKK rallies than his own son's school events. It's not the same. That rally that we saw from Biden is good news. The one in South Carolina is good news. The NATO summit is good news, no matter how many gaffes he makes. He could not make as many gaffes as Trump made the day before. Are you kidding me? Tell me how many news reports you see on the mainstream media about Trump in Miami. Did you see that? With his face paint melting off, talking foolishness for hours.
Yeah, nobody worries about me.
Nobody worries about me. They only want you, the crowd, the constituents, the people that want to vote for me, to get water and stay alive. What about me? It's a cartoon character. This is good news, people. Biden has good news. You won't hear it from the vampires, from the leeches, from the pimple stains. You won't hear it from them because they want the monkey. The truth is, yesterday, today, and the past few weeks has only been good news. The monkey's pay has gone down to 45 cents. People, if you don't buy a shirt today, I'm just playing. We're abusing the monkey. Give me some more good news. Give me some more of the good news, Laura, before we leave today. Let them know this is good news.
Well, like I say, he had a full week with the 75th NATO Alliance meeting, and it's quite a landmark.
Yeah, that was
the strongest alliance in history, standing united against the aggression of the European continent on the European continent. So yeah, the great news out of France and the great news out of the UK, kicking the right's butt we've been.
Loving it.
Real people and not but the the predictors have been telling us, the pundits and the polls, and the visa from Russia and wherever else, China and other places.
Wait a minute. Are you telling
All
me,
that disinformation affecting things again?
Laura, are you telling me that human beings are actually saying things are going okay, that they'd rather vote for another human being, no matter his politics, than a vampire? Is that what's happening? Because if you listen to what everyone else is saying in the news that's supposed to be educating us and giving us proper information on world news and politics, things that matter, all I can hear is, did you know Biden made a gaffe?
Yeah.
He made a gaffe. Did you know he was talking about world politics, Israel, Iran, the history of the Soviet Union, the understanding of world politics, the UK? Did he hear any of that? There was no news there.
No.
Well,
It's
okay.
stuff again.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is good news? Any other good news?
Well, you mentioned already he's announced that Israel and Hamas have agreed to a framework for ceasefire deal.
I didn't announce that.
Laid out in May.
Oh my
6
God.
weeks ago, I laid out a comprehensive framework for how to achieve a ceasefire and bring the hostages home.
Oh yes. Okay. I did remember talking about that before, but not today. Okay. Now we're talking. That's excellent news. My God, that's excellent news.
And
what else we got?
DOJ also shut down a bot farm, I think. You just lost that story.
Oh yeah, listen, people. A lot of what you're seeing, a lot of the people.
There's other good news going on in the courts. We're waiting for other big stuff to work its way out, work its way through the courts. We're still getting some joy from places like Wisconsin and Ohio, and then of course we got Rudy's case. We're being tossed his bankruptcy case that he filed. They're probably going to kick that, so
okay.
He's got to pay up. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on too.
Okay. All is not lost.
And
all is not lost.
Ran out of juice.
All right,
so
listen.
I think it's time to say goodnight.
Yeah, we've been on 2 hours now. Listen, people. I knew this was gonna go long. I wasn't worried about it today because I felt that this one had to be. We even really followed the script, Laura. We actually did. I had so many stuff, but believe it or not, we followed the script. The point is, it's not over. Don't believe them. Laura just had a great story. That story about the bot farm being taken out. I want you to understand that everything you're seeing is not real. The internet is not real. All the people that fight with you in the comment sections, they're not all real. Okay? Disinformation game, the idea of tearing us apart is being done on a national level by Russian bots and many others. We can do this. We can win. And you see on your screen right now the ways to win. 5 ways to volunteer for voting rights. Look at it. League of Women Voters. Type it in. Go to their homepage. Take action. Donate. League of Women Voters. League of Women Voters. Type it in. Google it. Go to the homepage. Ride share to vote. The number 2 vote. Ride share the number 2 vote. Type it in. Go to it. Donate. Get active. Drive someone to the polls. Use these resources in Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Type it in. Go. Vote.org. Volunteer. Type it in. Donate. Check their programs out. Get active. Vote.org. Vote Writers. VoteWriters.org. Type it in. Donate. Get active. They're in a state near you, a city near you. When you feel like giving up, the best thing you could ever do is take action. That will keep you. That will keep you in the game, knowing that you're doing something. It gives you focus. And it's the right thing to do. We're not giving up. We're not listening to the bums.
Nope. That's what they count on. They count on us giving up and having the flight or fight or freeze reaction. Well, I choose fight every time.
Fight every time. This is the deal. We're out of here, guys. Thank you so much for staying with us for this long. Yes, please. The monkey thanks you. Like we said, join the channel. Donate anyway. Give us super chat. Whatever you want to do. We got really cool merch. Let the world know that you dissent with our I dissent shirts. Subscribe. Press the like. Another version of this will be coming out. A shorter version where we condense it down and do into a really cool show. Thank you for being here for the live. The other version will be up by the end of the weekend. Maybe by the end of tomorrow. We don't know. Who knows? Thanks, guys. It means the world to
everyone.
us.
Cheers, Bruce. TGIF.
TGIF. Team Drain. All the way.